afternoon. Welcome to Strength Flow. Coach Chris here. We are going to start off today on the back of our mats. We're going to start with that nice strong hip hinge, walking those hands on out to that world's greatest stretch. So once you get to that plank position, let's work that left foot on up. Let's lower down that left shoulder here for just a moment. And now we're going to tighten up that midsection as we reach that left hand to the sky. And now I want you to actually turn that thumb to the wall behind you. And then see if you can rotate that arm even further, really externally rotating to that shoulder, really challenging that T-spine into the stretch, pulling in that rib cage. And now let's take that left hand outside of that left foot, pulling back into that deep hamstring stretch. Breathe. Let's do that one more time. Rock forward and pull back. Excellent. Left hand back inside that left foot. Brace that midsection as you take that left foot back. Turning those elbow creases forward. We're going to work that right foot on up. Let's lower down that left shoulder here for just a moment. Right hand to sky. Now let's turn that thumb to the wall behind you. And let's see if you can rotate that shoulder even more. Let's really lock in that T-spine. Little activation as we mobilize. Right hand outside of that right foot, pulling that right hip back, trying to lift that chest with that deep stretch. Rocking forward, let's do that one more time. Pull back. And right hand back inside of that right foot, nice and controlled as we take that right foot back, walking those hands back to that standing position. And let's rise on up. All right, just a couple of hip circles, a little internal, external rotation through the hips, open, close, open, close. We have to tell. I'm actually rotating that leg out. Okay. A little bit of flexion along the waist. Just getting things moving, getting things woken up. One of our flows today has a lot of internal, external rotation in the hips. Just want to make sure we feel good. Last one. Good. Let's get a nice wide base. All right. We're going to pull into that Cossack squat. Let's take that left hip down towards that left heel. And push it over to that right side. Back to left. Right. Left. Right. Left. Right. Two more. Left. Right. And stand tall. All right. Good. All right. So we're going to work through two progressions today. First one is going to involve a shin box. We're going to take it into an extension, we're going to take it into a step through, or a lunge, and then a step through. So you're pretty much going to go from a shin box position to a standing position. And later on in class, we're going to work a sit back all the way to a standing lateral position. All right, so we're going to do quite some build-ups. So let's start off with the basics. Start off that shin box. If you need to, you can think about this as still being part of the warm-up. All right, but this is going to get us into our flow. All right, hands are back. And for right now, let's just drop those knees off to the left, chest stays proud. Right knee leads the way, off to the right. We're going to go two more supported. Back to the left. Back to the right. Now let's see if we can do the next four with hands free. So reaching those hands forward, left knee leads the way, right knee comes down. Back to the right. Back to the left. You may notice that opposite knee needs to follow a little bit quicker. That's fine. Back to the right. And back to center. All right, if you shuffled around like I have, you can readjust. All right, we're going to restart. We're going to add our extension. So let's drop those knees to the left. If you need to press through your left hand, you can. But if you can grab onto that imaginary rope, pull yourself up as you extend through the hip. You really need to master this movement. So again, use that left hand if you need to. There's no workaround today. We need this movement. Pulling down, back to the right. Extension. Down. Left. Extension. You can use those hands as much as you need to. Back to the right. Extend. Four more. Left. Extend. Right. Take your time. Extend. Left. Extend. Last time, right. And extend. Let's reset. All right, so the theme today is going to be 8 reps. So if you need to add more, you certainly can. Need to take away? Of course you can as well. All right, but if you're staying with me, you're shooting about 8 reps on all these progressions. All right, so now we're gonna add a lunge to that extension. So again, we have to master that extension. Use those hands as much as you need to. Let's go to the left. Extend. All right, stabilize yourself, strong through the pillar, lock everything down. We're gonna step that right foot forward into a lunge, okay? We're gonna stay in that lunge position. We're gonna take that right foot back. We're gonna lower back down, off to the right, extend, step that left foot forward, take that left foot back. You gotta get that knee about right where that heel is, or else you feel a little wonky, lowering back down, back to left, step, a lunge, back, off to the right, lunge, back to the left, step that right foot forward, transition to the right, step that left foot forward, last time left with this variation, step that right foot forward, use those arms as much as you need to. I'm going to use them as a little bit of balance as I work through these positions, stepping that left foot forward, and take it back. All right? As you master this movement more and more, taking your program, you may notice you can lock those hands behind the head if you need to. All right, so we're going to add one more onto this. Again, staying with 8 reps. We're going to take that lunge to a step through. All right? So we're going to stand all the way up, and that foot that steps forward is actually going to step in front of the other foot. So we're going to do a little bit of a step through. We're not going to get feet side by side. It'll make sense when we get there, just to make you think a little more. All right, off to the left. Extend. Right foot steps forward. All right, now that left foot, you're going to stand all the way up and step that left foot forward. All right, take that left knee back down. Then you add a little bit of a pivot with that left shin as you take that right knee back. Okay, first rep's going to take nice and slow, lowering down, again, using those hands as much as you need to, off to the right, extend, lunge, all right, step it up, stepping back to that lunge, pivot, that right shin, taking that left knee back by the foot, all right, coming back down, off to the left, extend, right foot steps forward, stand up tall, all the way step through, lunge back, right knee comes back, lowering down, off to the right, about halfway through, a lot of control going on, a lot of different portions to think about. If you get lost, you can always reset the center with me. We're 4 reps in, back to the left, extend, right foot steps forward, left foot steps all the way through, lunge back by getting that right knee back by that left foot, lowering down, shin box back across, extend, left foot lunge, stand tall, that step through, activate that midsection, lunge, pivot that shin, all right, taking that knee back, one more on each, extend, right foot steps through, standing tall, back down, don't forget about that pivot makes that setup for that back knee, or that right knee to come back, and back into that shin box, extend, left foot, step through is your last one here, coming back down, pivot that foot, pivot that shin, back down to center. Woo! That's a lot of talking. All right. Hopefully I didn't get annoyed by my voice too much, but that was a new flow, a little different build-up, so we'll make sure we're together. All right? Take a couple of deep breaths. We're going to work through that again. I'm going to set a tempo of 8 reps, and then we're going to move on to our next flow. All right? I'm working through 8 reps. I'll give out some cues, but a little bit less than last time, because hopefully we at least paid attention to what we were doing. All right? Let's start off with that shin box. Going left, extend, lunge, stand, lunge, back to shin box, to right, extend, lunge, step through, lunge back, don't forget that pivot of that shin before that second knee comes down, back to left, extend, back to right, rep 4 coming up. Get that shin pivot before you lower back down is key. Back to left, rep 5. Extend, lunge, stepping through. Reverse lunge, pivot that shin. Knee comes back, lowering down that strong shin box. Back across, extend, left, step, lunge, pivot. One more on each if you're with me. Strong extension, strong lunge, stepping through, lunging back with that pivot, bringing that knee back around, lowering down, relax. All right, you're doing your 8 reps. You're still finishing, that's fine, take your time. All right, take a couple of deep breaths. I know for me, swinging that second knee around can sometimes make my brain go a little backwards. So pause any time if you feel a little wonky with it. We are going to work that again in the class, but I don't want to spend all of our energy on that flow, so we're going to work our way into our second. All right? A little bit more upper body strength in this one, and a lot more lateral movement. This one we've done more often. It's one of my favorites. All right, so let's get into our plank position. Turn those elbow creases forward. Sitting those hips back. Strong sit back. Plank. Sit back. Plank. 6 more. Sit back. Plank. Really extend those hips. Back. Plank. Back. Plank. Back. Plank. Back. Plank. Back. Plank. Relax. Drop the knees. All right. We're going to add in a step, just like we did a world's greatest stretch. Call that the mountain climber. A little different than a traditional mountain climber. You get that foot outside of that hand. I want to see how narrow we can get. So really try to get that foot right outside of that hand, challenging those hips, which are hopefully nice and primed by now. Plank. Back. Left foot outside of left hand. Back. Right. Back. Left. Back. Right. Back. Left. Back. Right. Back. Left. Back. Right, back, relax. All right, couple breaths. Hopefully quads are warming up by now. All right, we're gonna add the stand. All right, some of you might know what flow is coming up, but we're just adding the stand right now. We're not adding on anything else. So we're going to sit back to mountain climber, and then we're gonna stand up tall, driving through that front foot, all right, that outside foot. Plank, sit back, left. All right, drive through that left heel, pull in that midsection, going tall. And now I want you to rotate back to that left foot. Left foot comes back, sit back. Right, stand. Right, sit back. Left, tall. Back inside left. Sit back. Right, tall. Inside right, 4 more. Sit back. Left, tall. Left, sit back. Right, tall, right, sit back, 2 more, left, tall, left, sit back, a little faster pace as you can tell, right, back in, relax, finish up those 8 reps, if I lost you a little bit on that pace, all right, so you can tell I really like this flow. All right, we're going to add in our lateral lunge, hence what we worked in the Cossack squats in the warm-up. All right, so when we get in that standing position, you're going to drop that hip, or pull that hip to that opposite heel, stand tall, and move back to our inside, or outside foot. All right, 8 reps. This is going to slow us down a little bit, but that's okay. Time and attention. Sit back, left, stand, pull that right hip to that right heel, tall, inside and left, sit back, right, tall, left hip, tall, inside right, back, left, tall, right hip, right heel, tall, sit back, right, tall, left hip, left heel, tall, 4 more, sit back, left, tall, right hip, tall, sit back, right, tall, left hip, left heel, tall, inside right, sit back, left for the final time in this round, right hip, tall, sit back, right, woo, that's a sliding, the left hip, tall, back inside right, relax, as I fix my mat.
Great to talk to you.
Big brother's always listening. All right, couple big breaths. We're going to do that one more time. I'm going to talk a little bit less. We shoot for 8 reps. I'm going to set a tempo. Again, just like that shin box flow. You can work through at a pace that makes sense for you. You want to go faster? You go faster. I never hold you back. Try not to look back. All right, plank. Sit back. Left. Pull it down. Sit back. Right. Pull that hip. Back inside. Left. Breathe. Going back right. If you're with me, wrapping up rep 4. Left. Back to right. One more on each if you're with me. If you're going a little slower, that's absolutely fine. But if you're banging out those reps, good for you. So you're feeling that breath, feeling that little extra burn. Last one if you're with me. Finish it up. Relax. To finish up those reps, keep working. We got a little breather. All right. So we're going to do one more round of each. All right. We wanted to save some energy. Not totally gas us out in that shin box. But I did have 3 rounds for us. And then we're going to get back to that sit back to lateral lunge. All right. So keep that in mind. Back in your extra rotation movements, those hips. All right, hopefully finish up those 8 reps. If you're still working, we're going to catch a breath. All right, let's go hands free if we can. Off the left. Extend. Stepping that right foot through. Standing tall. Left foot lunges back. Don't forget that pivot. Right knee comes back. Lowering down. Taking it across. Extend. Lunge. Staying tall with that step through. Lunging back. Don't forget to pivot that shin. 6 more. Ooh. And that one, I forgot to pivot that shin. Got a little wonky. Got a little lost coming down. Makes a big difference. Woo. Almost did it again. Told y'all, that part of that movement, brain goes backwards if I'm not talking. I'm on rep 5 if you're with me. 3 more. Have to use those arms a little bit more. Feel those hips starting to get tired, starting to get lazy. Last time left. Strong extension. Finish up that last rep. Nice and strong. Don't forget that pivot. Lowering down with control. Relax once you finish those reps. All right. Good work. We got one more time. We got 8 reps. Finishing off with that sit back, that lateral lunge. All right? And this will take us all the way to the end of class. Really the decompression at the end of class, if you want to do anything, will be with those wrists and outside of hips. All right? We'll go over a quick stretch here at the end. Plank position. Sit back. Left. Stand. Right hip, right heel. Tall. Back inside. You know what to do. Right. Tall. Left hip. Tall. Back. Left. Tall. Take your time. Challenge yourself in that lateral lunge if you can, but make sure you're staying in control. I can tell I'm more mobile, but legs are getting a little gassed. Past halfway, that was rep 5 if you're with me. Coming up on 6. Brace that midsection, all in that pull. Last 2 coming up. You're still working towards those 8 reps, that's fine. If you are done, as long as your heart rate's not too high, you can go on over to a supine position. Again, if you're working on those 8 reps, that's great, that's fine. All right, but if you're done, as long as your heart rate's not absolutely breathless, you can come on over and go into a nice little hip stretch, pulling that leg, pulling that knee across the body. So I'm pulling my left knee across the hips, trying to keep my low back in contact with the ground as I breathe. And open up the outside of that hip. Extend the leg if you like, depending on what kind of grip you're working with. Hold that position as long as you would like for time's sake into the quick switch. So press that foot forward, go and sit on up. That does it for Tuesday's strength flow. Thank you very much for spending your afternoon, almost evening with me. Hopefully you enjoyed those flows, and see you tomorrow night, tomorrow evening, tomorrow afternoon, whatever this time is considered with Coach Matt. Y'all stay classy out there. Appreciate you.